Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Sphere of Influence, people you need to know. My name is Daniel Winton, CEO of Operating in the Black. A little bit about what we are doing here today. In the course of doing business, I speak to tons and tons of business owners. And the most prudent question that they are always asking me is, what professionals do you know in the field that I'm operating in that could be a benefit to my business? And you're in for a real treat today because we have Lori Smith, and she helps female business owners, women owned business owners, as well as government contracting. So we have someone here with over 20 years of experience in government contracting that's going to be able to talk you through this. And the great thing about operating in the black is that we attract such wonderful talent all across the United States. I mean, you see a face on LinkedIn, but you don't get a chance to hear that voice. You don't get a chance to get that good feeling about the person that you have the potential opportunity to do business with. So we wanted to bring great professionals all across the United States in here to speak with you, our customers, so that you will hear from the professionals not only who are proficient, but who are highly skilled in the industry that you're going to see them talk about today. And today you're in for a real treat. We have Lori Smith that will be speaking with you today about women-owned businesses and government contract. Let's bring Lori in. Hello, Lori.
Hi, Daniel. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. And you know what? You can't be doing any better unless you're speaking with Lori Smith. So I definitely feel privileged to have the opportunity to speak with you today. So
Thank you.
you are quite welcome. Again, thank you so much for coming on the show today. We really, really appreciate the things that you're doing, not just for us today, but what you do on your day to day, communicating with business owners and understanding the depths of their challenges and being able to help them work themselves through that, because I have absolutely no idea about what government contracting can do. But instead of me telling your story, can you just tell us a little bit about what you do?
Well, thank you again for this opportunity to be here with you today on Sphere of Influence. And what I do, I am a government contracting consultant and coach and or mentor or advisor, whichever capacity or role I need to play in. I am there to avail myself to potential clients. And what I do is I help people understand not just about the win of the government contracting. My role and my job is to help you and educate you about the procurement process so that you can win the right way. So it's a part of helping you get prepared, helping you get postured. And we do that through education and just understanding the rules of engagement. So we have greater opportunities when we come to the table. And when you get to the table, prepared to eat. So that's in a
Absolutely.
nutshell, wrapping it up, what I do here on the backside of, of everything. So
Well, let me ask you this. I know this is a little bit off topic, but I heard you won an award. Can you tell us a little bit about what some little bank gave you an award? What happened there?
Well, actually, what ended up happening is after I went to a local Savannah Black Chamber of Commerce meeting, I met the representative for Bank of America there, and so after leaving, I came home and just doing some research just to see what
Right.
did Bank of America have available, and so I came upon this opportunity, whereas and they were. Had a program for minority-owned women's for Cornell's one
Oh
entrepreneurship
wow.
women's entrepreneurship program certificate
Okay.
program. So I signed up for it. Well, I applied, submitted my information in there, and of course, it was a long wait list. And I had actually forgot about the wait list and about that.
Okay.
And when I got the notice from Cornell, like, hey, congratulations, you've been accepted. You know, accept the registration, and that's when I had to go back and actually do some research to see, okay, what is this? But it's an awesome
Okay.
opportunity that they were affording women of color or other minority women-owned business entrepreneurs to really just facilitate our growth and development. And I'm all about reskilling, upskilling, educating myself, because that's the only way you'll be able to provide viable information to others is if you pour into yourself.
Excellent. Well, that's very interesting. Now, um, you are obviously someone who has broken through a lot of barriers in your life. Okay, women business owners are still a rarity in this country. So, can you tell me how did you start your journey? What made you decide to get into government contract?
Well, what I would say, and I'm going to speak holistically because all of me is who I am today. And so
Right.
my entrepreneurship journey actually started in my hometown of Macon, Georgia, in our church, Jackson Temple Holiness Church, under the tutelage of our chairman of the deacon board, Samuel Talbert. And what he would
Okay.
do is get the young people and to keep us engaged and out of trouble. He taught us how to be just young business professionals. So we
Wow.
had a veggie and fruit stand at the local farmers market. We would
Okay.
literally go and pick the peas ourselves, pull peaches and all that kind of stuff, and then we would take it to the farmers market and sell it. So he taught us about being entrepreneurs. And then in high school, he also facilitated our being able to start work at Robins Air Force Base in the high
Wow.
school stay in school program. And so I started working with the government in high school. So over time, I was a reservist in the reserve and part of my Air Force career. I'm also a retired veteran. I did
Okay.
logistics. And halfway through my military active duty time, I retrained into government contracting. It was something I had always wanted to do and had always heard, hey, once you retire, it's such a lucrative opportunity. And in essence,
Right.
it is. And I retrained into government contracting while on active duty military. And once I retired from the military, again, started my federal government service in government contracting. And I even at that point in time, I had wanted to start my business once I retired from the Air Force. But I
Okay.
also was very committed to my mother and what she wanted in life. And as her daughter, I wanted to make sure her latter years were her greater years. And so I knew that I could sustain her goals and her dreams and her aspirations serving in
Right.
ministry by having a full-time job. So I took the civil service route. And it wasn't until after she transitioned in 2018 and after I completed the community care network contract, making sure that was up and operational, that I decided it was time for me to transition into my own business. And then, of course, COVID hit. My mother-in-law fell ill, and unfortunately, she did not sustain her illnesses.
Mm,
We lost her
right.
a year or so ago. My husband fell ill. And so, what I did during this time of transitioning from 2020 up until now, in the background, I cultivated me, made sure that from a mindset perspective, I was ready to go and ready to launch. I'm
That
also
was that was one of the questions that I was going to ask you
okay.
is what are some of the key challenges that you face not only in your career but in your personal life?
Well, and as I just communicated from a personal life perspective, post marriage and post, as a result of COVID, my like I say, my mother-in-law, we brought her up to us in Virginia. We found out she had dementia, Alzheimer, and schizophrenia, and then we
Right.
wanted to put her in a memory care facility. Whereas in it, as her memory was transitioned, we like made the decision, let's get to a place where she could at least spend some time with relatives that she had nearby. So we came
Right.
back here to Georgia. And unfortunately, like I say, she did transition within that year. And then a few months after that, I had one of my older sisters, was found in her home dead. So you have all of those different challenges. I had COVID, a lot of things happened from 2020 up to now. And what I didn't do was give up hope. So sometimes you have to be mindful of the place and the space for rest
Right.
and then allow that
Can
rest.
you elaborate on that, please? I
So
mean, can I'd like to just kind of just bring you. I just want to hear that part because you see on the internet, go 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 go. If you're not doing 100%, you're not doing anything. You know, I'd like you to talk a little bit about your mental health and protecting your mental health while growing a business.
absolutely. Thank you. And, and it's a great perspective to have. When we're talking about protecting our mental health while you're also trying to start a business, your dream is your dream. Your goal and your aspirations are your goal and your aspirations. What we have to do is allow ourselves the flexibility to understand and know is that the way I thought it was going to go may not occur. Nevertheless, it does not deny me my dream and my goal. So, how do I shift? There is rest sometimes in the chaos. And for me, from 2020 up until now, recently, I've had that opportunity to rest because up until 2018, when my mom transitioned, and even after that, I was still operating in a capacity, whereas I was taking on every responsibility I had. I made sure I did it at a level of excellence. I never grieved the loss of my mother because I went from one complex situation to the next situation. So when things started happening, I said, okay, Lord, this is my opportunity for rest. And so I rested from a mental health perspective, but then I still had the wherewithal and the strength to know it ain't rest mean don't do nothing. Prepare yourself. So I continue to pursue my doctorate. I hopefully will have that completed, hopefully early next spring, next summer. I again worked with a business coach because you want to be prepared for the transition. You're right. The internet said, "Oh, let's create an opportunity, create a dream, and let's create a business." And there are so many entrepreneurs that are out there just rushing. Let who you are be a substance. Whereas then when any client that you help in or you've engaged can come to you or anyone, have a solution for them. Help them through the way. We have to have value in everything that we do. So I use my time of rest to cultivate me. And by reskilling, I mean, I know about business development, but I'm in the
Right.
University of Cape Town taking a BD course because I want to reskill that information because business development to my clients is important. They really need to understand how to do it the right way. So what's the latest trends in it? So I want to be current. And so even with the entrepreneurship certificate with Cornell, we're talking about presence. How can I engage women specifically on what that truly means? So that's what I mean about rest
I
for
want to
me.
interrupt you just a little bit on that. I want to just kind of take it back just a little bit about the rush,
Okay.
rush, 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 rush. Uh, the reason for me reaching out to you was I had so many business owners who were getting awarded these contracts, great contracts. And he was like, Daniel, all I need the money to do, all I need is the money to get started. And the challenge for funders is trying to tell folks we have no idea if you're going to be successful or not. Okay. If someone came up to you and asked you for $200,000 on something that you had never done before, what would you ask of them? So it's all about that preparation. Can you talk a little bit about how you get people to slow down and get everything in place as they're getting those government contracts?
Absolutely. So when someone comes to me, I immediately let them know if you are ready to win quick, I'm not your girl. Because what I want to
Okay.
do, I don't want you to win quick. I want to prepare you for the lifetime. Let this relationship be what you need to cultivate this relationship to be. And so what I advise folks to do also is make sure whatever it is, the solution you're telling the government you can solve, let that be your true solution and your true story. As a
Okay.
part of cultivation, as a part of preparation, is not only learning how to start the business, set the business up, ensure you have those operational systems in place to facilitate, compliance and performance on the contract. It is the networking and relationships you also build as you grow and grow. So when we talk about networking and engagement and building relationships, as an individual starting a business, I often tell people we show up as us. So when you show up, if you want business funding, they are going to look at you, the person, the individual, when they're making that assessment. How you looking? So we
Right.
got time before we rush to make sure we have on our best outfit. So let's get there. But do you have a relationship with your own bank? Do you know what resources they offer? Do you know what's readily available? Have you had anyone do an analysis to let you know how you look from a credit risk perspective and the things you need to work on to get to become viable? And more
Right.
often than not, we miss that part. People have this idea, I want to run, I want to win, and I want to win quick. I don't have no experience, and I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to make it happen. And they do that. What I will tell you is that rote behavior will produce a determined response. So you can go through the steps and you can win. Now what? When you
Exactly.
submit a proposal, you need to be thinking about closeout, because I done won, I done perform, and I'm ready.
What is closeout? I'm sorry, Lori.
Closeout is the
That's
end of the contract. And
okay.
so from the beginning to the end, you need to have the end in mind, because having that end in mind, I've dreamed what that success, what my compliance is going to be. So have these
Right.
systems and controls in place. So and what happens when we don't do that preparation, we become part of those statistics of those businesses that don't last more than 2, 3, or 5 years because they never got their traction, and or you end up defaulting on a government contract. Now you have a bad report card against you, and you go off and you do something else because you got to overcome that time period that is going to be held against you in the CPAR system.
So you actually can that actually can come back on you by getting a contract and not being able to fulfill it, or are they in the process of trying to fulfill it, but they're just not doing a good job? What can you go over that just a little bit?
Well, either of those situations can come against you. So if you obtain a contract and you're not able to meet the performance requirements, the government can potentially terminate it. And so
Okay.
the terminations that the government have available to them, they could be nice and terminated for convenience, or they can terminate it for cause, and they're terminated for default. When they're cause and default, aligned to a termination, those are things that are documented. So the cause of the default is obviously you're not being able to meet the terms and conditions of the contract, and you don't want the government to send you anything you don't want to be terminated for default and or cause. If the government
Okay.
decide, hey, this ain't working out, you ain't working out, and they want to do convenience because they haven't done their appropriate documentation, at least it's for the convenience of the government, and there's no bad plug for you for the termination. Whereas from a documentation perspective, in CPARs, you want to see what they say about you from a past performance, because there's a contractor past performance record system where the government evaluate and document how well you do on a contract. But those things
Okay.
can be mitigated if you prepare. And if you get a contract and you see that you're struggling, try to seek opportunities where you can go find some partners that can come in and shore it up. But if you understand rules of engagement, you won't put yourself in those situations. You'll be better prepared to go out and really be a value added resource to the government for winning.
So in other words, what you're saying is having a person like you in their corner as they're preparing to make an offer for a government contract, you believe that that's very wise.
Oh, it's wise to do that. But then also not just me, because again, me and your corner are going to cost you. However, going to your
But you
Apex.
don't do this for free? Okay, well, we need to put your information up there so these people see that, so they'll know it's real. It's not Peter Pan land over here. You want to make some cash? We're gonna make sure that you get paid. So yeah, absolutely. I believe in that. This is nonprofits are okay, but we love to make the money too.
Yeah, but
So
what I always encourage folks to do, I'm going to make sure, hey, you've engaged your APEX, which used to be the PTAC. I'm going to make
okay,
sure you went to your Small Business Development Center. I'm going to encourage people to do that, and even SCORE. There are a lot of resources that you can glean information from. When you come to wanting a consultant or advisor, or someone in my capacity, what you're looking for is someone that's really going to give you some ins and outs, help with some minutia, some nuances, really help cultivate that where it's personal one-on-one, because those other entities are serving at capacity. And so they
Right.
may not be able to give you that spot on one-on-one kind of treatment, but they are
Okay.
great at what they do. So it depends on where you're at in your career and what you want to do and what you want to understand. But there are resources. Understand the resources. And even after you go get fundamental and foundational information, if you don't understand it, pay for a consult for an expert to give you clarity. I mean, an hour consult ain't gonna kill you, but or seek other opportunities where there's webinars, there's events where they're
Well,
really
Lori, I'm just to be honest with you, I didn't know that there was any tools out there like that for government contracting, or there's some ridiculously high price, like $25,000 to get the information. So as people are looking for podcasts or books or what, who would you I mean, are there any books that you I see the reason why I have you here is that you're trusted. We've seen what you've done. We've had the opportunity to sit down and interview you and go over your background, the military, and everything else. And you have just been phenomenal. I just cannot even tell you how many days and how many customers I speak with on a day-to-day basis that said, Daniel, I want to get into this government contracting because they have this understanding that minorities have an opportunity to make money there. And I'm sure that there is. So I would certainly want them to reach out to you to see, to get their feet wet with you, to learn the things that they have to do to get to start properly.
Absolutely. And I mean, I do complimentary consults to get people directed the right way.
Okay.
But your SBA, like I said, the APAT centers, your SCORE, each government entity that you are hoping to engage with on their respective websites, they're going to have information about doing business with them. Again, you potentially may need a consultant or a mentor or someone to guide you
Right.
along, because when you're coming in fresh, not understanding, it's going to be quite a bit. But your small business development centers have accelerators. And I'm not going to tell you that any one source is going to give you absolutely everything, to include myself. That's why anytime I advise anyone, I am giving you regulatory guidance and information that you can go verify and fact check anything I say, because it's not my book that was written. I didn't write the book. I'm sharing information with you so that you can help understand exactly what it is that they're communicating. And I share that from a place of, hey, I'm a former contracting officer. I'm the one that have signed the contracts and had signature authority on the contracts
That's
that you're
what I
seeing.
wanted to. That's what I wanted you to say. I've been waiting for that, for you to tell them, hey, you were on the other side of the desk.
Exactly.
You were the ones that approved those deals. So Lori Smith is the person that you absolutely need to speak with regarding this function. Now, uh, other than uh, other than that, I want to ask you this. How have you been able to balance professional success with your personal well-being? I really want to go back to that.
Well, I've been able to do that by being clear on who I am and what my capabilities are and what my limitations are. And then I also have a wonderful support system in my husband. So as you pursue your journey, you're going to be met with challenges. And what you have to do is be able to identify, what are my career suckers? What are those things that suck up energy and bring no value to my life? And those be the things
Right.
that you remove. So when we can get or mitigate or alleviate those things that are otherwise suckers, then it gives you time to free you up to do the things that you desire to do. Also, as you're pursuing your business, you look at it holistically. My business, my entrepreneurship goals, my life goals, it's all one thing, it's holistically. So when I dream about what it is that I desire to do, I'm not dreaming about it without accounting for the people who are close in my life, the things in my life that matters,
Right.
the things that I volunteer for, whatever bring me joy in life is all inclusive in everything I do. And for me, what I often say is that I'm fortunate, because my spiritual gifts as well as my natural gifts are helps, service, and hospitality. That's how I've lived my life. And because that's who I am, I mean, I've been able to
Right.
balance it all. And so, but you have to find that there are going to be some opportunities. I'm not going to tell you that I'm not in this office by myself sometimes while my husband is snoring. Or even before we moved to Savannah, I mean, I'd be in the basement in Stafford. He up there having a grand old time with his little CPAP machine.
Right.
But he knew I was safe. He knew I was in the house, and I was just some steps away, and he would check on me. Baby, I'm going upstairs. Do you need anything? He's going to make sure I have whatever it is that I need in order to be successful. And as a woman-owned small business, especially if you have a partner, man, they allow you to have your dream, and he's allowing this to be my dream. But when I tell you he has my back, he has my back. So I don't struggle like most potentially are struggling, because I
Right.
have someone who's right there and he has my back. And so it really starts with you just being sure who you are as well as whose you are. And because I've always, tried to live my life operating from a spirit of excellence, because that's how I was raised. Your word is your bond. Go out and do your best. Let someone be able to be reliable, be accountable, have integrity. That's how I was raised. So I'm not
Right.
doing anything different than what I've been, nurtured and groomed to do.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. What is your vision for the future, both for your career and the industry?
Well, for my career, aspects of my vision is getting ready to just come and hit these streets here real soon. I'm doing this big brand reveal, and I went back and forth for years, 3-4 years now, working on it. Finally found a great company that's able to articulate it and visualize it, and we're getting ready to put it out. And
All
so in the
right.
future,
Congratulations.
my hope and my goal is from a business side, be able to, again, do the things that I desire to do, and make that a component, whereas and it facilitate my still goal and intent to create wealth for my family. From an industry perspective, I think what we have to be mindful of from a government contracting perspective as a consultant, that is why it is very important for you to continue to reskill and or upskill yourself, because as innovation and as things change, you need to be prepared to be able to appropriately consult. So when we talk about things
Okay.
that are getting ready to change in the industry, you have things about blockchain, AI, uh,
Right.
technology, energy, a list, a slew of different things, supply chain. There is going to be a lot of diversity, a lot of things that is going to change and shift in the industry of government contracting, and consultants need to be prepared to be able to continue to provide that level of support. We talk about
Okay.
AI and the conveniences it offer, and it does. I'm not going to say I haven't even dabbled out there with it myself, but the difference is going to be, whereas in the future, people will finally start seeing who is legit in a lot of industries, because a lot of folks are using AI to present stuff and put stuff out. And
Right.
sometimes they fail to realize, look, I can go to somebody else's page and I say that same article with their name on it, because AI is only giving out, what you put in. And if everybody's using the same prompt, you're going to get the same
Well, let
response.
me ask you in this last minute that we have, what what message or piece of advice would you like to leave with our viewers today?
If I leave anything with viewers today, what I want to do is encourage everyone: pursue your goals and pursue your dreams. Write your dreams down. What are they? And it is okay to live your dream out. However, be mindful that in the course of realizing your dreams, you may have to make some adjustments, but let it still be authentically you. So prepare, study yourself to be approved. Make sure you are cultivating and developing yourself, so that as you go out in your journey and as your company CEO or whatever your endeavors are, you're putting your best foot forward. So be you and be real about it.
All right. Well, Lori, thank you so much for stopping by to see us today. So, everybody wave at Lori. Well, thank you for coming by. And I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this up. I I know everybody's excited about that. I know everyone's excited about that. Again, this is Daniel Winton. Sphere of Influence, people you need to know. We are so appreciative of you stopping by and seeing us today. And please join our YouTube or our Instagram channel. You're going to see many, many more of these. Thank you so much. Bye bye.